Ladies and gentlemen, we're in Italy for some reason. Is this where I say pizza to Papa?
Huh.
Anyways, it's been a little while since we did some, but there's some stuff that are out of the podcast range that we wanted to talk about. Well, mostly me. Chewy just thinks of stuff out of thin air.
Oh, I was gonna talk about video games real quick.
Now, Chewy, do you mind if I take a few minutes to rip apart a series?
Please go ahead. I'm going to just fuck around in the background then.
You better not be playing Dark Tide.
Creating a new operative.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I'm playing.
Anyway, so first and foremost, Kai, our good friend on Discord, the professional yeeter, you're probably gonna enjoy this because I'm about to lose my fucking mind.
What's that?
Tokyo Revengers.
Oh yeah.
It ended over the weekend.
Right.
The manga, not the anime. The anime's great, by the way. I think the anime's first season's great, and I'm very excited for the second season this winter.
Oh.
I don't want them to cover the entire manga. So, the major story in the first manga is the battle against Kiseki, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the battle against Kiseki, and it goes quite a while. It goes over 200 chapters, right?
Yes.
And it ends rather satisfyingly. Kiseki gets defeated, and eventually this leads to, Toman disbanding, and everyone seems to go on and have a happy life. And I'm like, okay, that's a very satisfying ending, right?
Yeah.
And then they just kept going.
Okay.
You see, that's my main issue here, is that they kept going. Because you end the series after the first story, it's great. It's honestly probably the best time travel story I've ever seen.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, they're like, no, we need to tell a story about Mikey and his darkness. And it's just like,
darkness.
Fuck off. But like, you've read this, right?
I haven't caught up, but I've gone far.
Have you at least finished the first story?
No, I don't think so.
Well, pretty much the first story is like, it ends with like the big happy, like the big wedding. Everybody's moving on with their life, but Mikey, he can't leave it. He needs to continue to be a gang member.
Ah.
And then they do 20 chapters of the most bullshit, annoying things I have ever seen. It's literally just 20 chapters of Mikey getting everyone around him pretty much killed. And then what happens? And it's like, okay, we get it. You're building up to well, not Mikey, Takamichi as well gets everyone killed.
Oh, right.
And like, you get it. You're building up to like the final story, right? The final battle, right? And it's a decent battle. Takamichi ends up overpowering Mikey. Right?
Right.
And they end up, like, it gets to the point where, like, oh, Takamichi's winning. Right? So you're like, okay, this isn't great, but we can at least, get through this bullshit and maybe Takamichi can knock some sense into Mikey, right? Then Mikey reveals that his brother was a time traveler.
Oh.
Yeah, and then it just flies off the fucking rails. Like, imagine it's a roller coaster and it's going, it's a little creaky, right? But like it's going. It's still going, right? Yeah. You're like, okay, we can at least see an ending, and then just fucking yeets around to the right side and flies into a ditch.
Yeah.
So they reveal that Mikey's brother was a time traveler.
Huh?
Like Takamichi.
Yes. I
And
remember past it. Yeah.
it's just, why the fuck did you reveal this? And oh, guess how Takamichi got his time traveling ability?
From
Mikey's brother.
Mikey's brother? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Mikey's brother only did it because Mikey was dead in his former timeline, and he ran into this fucking crazy old man on the street.
Oh, okay.
I wish I was kidding, but that's literally what happened.
Oh.
And it's just, and here's the thing, it gets even worse. Because then during the fight, Mikey kills Takamichi.
Oh.
Like, straight up, he fucking kills him.
Oh.
And Mikey, and then Takamichi just is like, I'm gonna hug you, and I'm like, you aren't this dark. And it, like, stops the dark impulses. And this leads to Takamichi being able to time travel because they grabbed his hand, because that was the trigger this time, right? So, like how in the first part, it was Hina's brother who was the trigger.
Okay.
Right? Except this time Takamichi gets sent miles back. It's not just like 5 years back. He's now 8.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And then it's revealed that Mikey also time leapt.
Okay.
So 8-year-old Mikey and 8-year-old Takamichi realize, oh, we time leapt. Let's not do what we do. And then literally chapter 277 is them moving all the way to the end of like the thing with everything okay. Mikey's brother's still alive. Everyone who dies in the series is still alive. Kiseki now is a nice person.
So wait, they just like wiped everything?
They literally wiped everything.
Just
So,
retconned,
like,
basically?
essentially the Kanto Maja gang, Tomen, right?
Yeah, no, I know that, yeah.
It's still thing. Right?
Uh-huh.
And instead of like it becoming this brutal battle for the death, instead everybody's just best friends. So like everyone that died in the series is alive. Kisaki is not a piece of shit. He's actually a good person.
Okay.
And like, you know, all that series you cared about, right? From chapter 1 to chapter 277. Yeah, that didn't fucking happen now.
Okay, so it's a retcon. It's a retcon, basically.
Yeah. And then chapter 278 ends with the marriage of like Hina and Takamichi.
Okay.
Is it Hina? What was that girl's name again?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it ends with the marriage. It's like, oh, this guy's doing that, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's doing that, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, fuck you. Fuck you for wasting my time. Like, when you sit there and think about it, they essentially did the same ending as the first story, right? The battle against Kisaki.
Uh-huh.
Here, right?
Did it, yeah.
Like, it's literally the exact same ending. Everybody, Tomen's disbanded, everybody goes their separate, everybody goes on with their lives, and the girl and Takamichi get married.
For whatever reason, they just decided to do the...
But then they had to have Mikey's Darkness chapter.
Right.
And then not only do they do Mikey's Darkness chapter, which is 20 chapters of the most agonizing reading I have read in a while. Like, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you here, Chewy. Attack on Titan's ending is so much better. And Attack on Titan's ending is trash.
Yeah, because it's what's his name? Aaron thinking that he's in order to be the good guy, he needs to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and then it's just like all this and all that, right?
Yeah.
But at least Attack on Titan building up to the battle with Eren is great. Like, I generally mean it when I say like the build up to the battle with Eren is pretty damn good, right?
Right.
Sure, I can say in the end that I think the way it ends is stupid as fuck. But it's hard to deny the entertainment factor, the story, the characters trying to come to terms with Eren's betrayal. All that's pretty good. It's just the ending sucks. Right? Here, here in Tokyo Revengers, not only is the ending just an insult to the viewer who spent how long has Tokyo Revengers been serialized, right?
Let's see, several years or so, 5, 6, 4.
2017. So it started in March 2017. So
almost 5 years now.
Just under no, it'd be 5 years would have been in March, wouldn't it? No, it would have been 4. This is its 5th year of sterilization. So like just under
6 years.
6 years of sterilization, right? So people have been reading this for 6 years, and I remember when it was first out, how you're just like, watch it, Marcel, it's great. And honestly, everything up until the final arc generally is great.
Yeah, it really sucks. It's like the writer decided to take a big old shit on it. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe just
the Tenjuku arc, the Black Dragon, Christmas Showdown, Valhalla, Bloody Halloween. All that. It's great. But the final arc is such an insult to the reader. Like, I'm going to put it to you this way. It would have been bad if it just ended with, like, Takamichi beating Mikey and them working out them, right? But to end with, as the Wikipedia article puts, Mikey and Takamichi working together to avert all the previous tragedies, right?
Yeah.
And removing everything that happened is such a fucking insult to the viewer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially the author saying, you know, those, let's say 250 chapters, right? So let me just give me a second, because I want to see exactly when it ended, right? So all those chapters, right? So the last chapter, like, oh, it's not even 20, it's like 40. Fuck. So 236. I believe it's 236. Let me check. So about 236 chapters, right? So like you literally waste about 230, 240 worth of chapters to say all that thing you watched, fucking pointless. It didn't happen.
Pointless.
Like, isn't that insulting? Like, wouldn't you as a viewer feel like I just wasted my entire time?
Because you invested so much time into it and into the characters and the plot.
Like, again,
it is a shitty thing. It's basically like, say, Pokemon went and was like, hey, all the Pokemon died. Stuff like that. Like, for this dumbest reason ever as well. You don't live in a world where you can catch Pokemon anymore. You are just a human in the regular old world.
Like, it's just, you put all the effort, right? And create probably the best time travel story I've ever read. And you end it great. Kasaki's been defeated. Hanada and Takamichi, Hanada and Takamichi are like getting married. Toman's disbanded. Everybody's moving on with their lives. finally through all the bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And then to just do this, to not only drag it out to not only do the same exact ending, right?
Mhm.
But then to have it so the entire arc that you read, that you sat there, that you put into,
Yeah.
well, it's insulting.
Yeah. Really is.
Mm-hmm.
You see where
And I'm annoyed because, again, Tokyo Revengers, up until the final arc, was very, very good.
yeah. Does.
But reading the finale, I just was left with a sour taste in my mouth looking at it and just like, oh, thanks for telling me all the time I wasted catching up, reading it after watching the anime, right? Was totally fucking wasted.
Totally looking indeed. That yeah.
Like let me put it to you this way. The ending still would have been bad if they just had like Takamichi get through to Mikey and end it there and then go on to the same exact ending as the first major story, right? But at least it wouldn't have told you you just wasted your fucking time reading this book.
Yeah.
Like it's why again I'm saying I don't want Tokyo Revengers to adapt the final arc.
Oh yeah, that would.
Like right now, it seems that season 2 which is coming this winter, by the way. Season 2 is right now only going to adapt the Christmas arc.
That
So
is fine, honestly.
the Black Dragon, I think Black Dragon.
That is honestly just fine.
Yeah,
Christmas arc was really good.
And then all that's left is Tenjiku.
Okay, yeah.
So like I could see them going to it, but like I genuinely hope that the backlash against this is so severe it shows that the animators they don't want to see this.
Yeah.
Because it's just oh wow, I'm looking at Fubuki and she already has shinies.
Wow.
Yeah. And then she's just like she's got a shiny Blizzo and a shiny Wiglet, and now she's like, that must mean the golden Magikarp is coming soon. Remember last year in Pokemon Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl, the Akaina?
Yeah. How many reds in the end?
I think it was like almost a month she went.
That was kind of brutal, honestly.
It was fucking hilarious. Her thumbnail is just her screaming with a bunch of Magikarps behind her. But yeah, no, to end on the Tokyo Revengers thing, I think the perfect example to me is just saying what I said. You remove the whole eventually Takamichi and Mikey work together to prevent the previous timeline tragedies. And you got a bad ending, but at least it doesn't insult you. With this whole thing right here, it tells you that, again, the months you spent reading this book, the months you spent invested in the characters, not fucking worth it. And like,
Shot in the foot, basically.
pretty much. And here's a genuine question, since I brought it up. Is this worse than Attack on Titan?
No. I don't think
really?
so.
You think Attack on Titan's worse?
Well, oh, wait. What? Oh, no, let's think. Let's see. I don't know. I think, no. Actually, yeah, I retract that statement. I think, or no, I thought you meant the other way around. I think
Like,
I definitely think Attack on Titan's definitely better, even though yes, that was not the greatest ending. They didn't undo everything that they worked on.
Stupid. Right?
They just made it really dumb. You know, the resolution.
Like, at least with Attack on Titan, you could have the story of like the main characters trying to come to terms with Aaron's betrayal. right? Like that can at least carry the story, and I think it does for the most part. Even if the ending is just incredibly fucking stupid. But this year, the final arc is a frustrating read. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating read. It is a bad ending, and it insults you. It's hard to believe that I'm going to say I think Tokyo Revengers will have a manga ending that I don't think will be anywhere close to it, right? Like, I genuinely think this might be the worst manga ending I will ever read.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, no, so that was my
that was actually more tamer than I thought, honestly.
I didn't want to go as loud, but I cursed quite a bit.
Still quite tame as before, honestly. Still tamer than normal.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
But I don't just saying, man, I was expecting way more like really bad comparisons and analogies and stuff being used, and just saying you literally just turned it into the most useless piece of wet toilet paper ever that has been used multiple times by people, random strangers in fact, and it's just broken into little bits.
Let me put it to you this way. Tokyo Revengers, the first arc, ends with a beautiful cake. A beautiful cake that was put up. It's going to be put into a wedding party. But then, while you're driving to the wedding party, the fucking car does a fucking cartwheel. And it just throws the cake everywhere to the point where the entire back of the car is just covered in cake. And then they open it, they pull it out. The cake is just destroyed. Nothing's there, right? It's absolutely obliterated. They pull it out, they plop it right in front of the bride and groom and say, "Here's your fucking cake." Like, it's just, it's fucking bad. It's really bad. And it's a shame because, again, I thought Tokyo Revengers, when it ended after the Tenjiku arc, was really good.
Yeah.
Villain was defeated. There was loss, but everybody's pulling forward. Right?
Yeah.
It was good. It's just a shame they decided to just break the cake and throw it in front of you, screaming, "Eat that fucking cake."
They didn't just break it, they just like ate it, chat it. Eat it. Eat it, baby. But then that's a different thing. That's gross stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't we move on to some more happier-ish topics? Happier-ish.
Pokemon got released.
Yes, in the east. There. Our east.
The reviews are solid.
It is okay. Based off the article so far that I've read, it's been reported that this Pokemon is the most pre-ordered Pokemon in history so far. Which is good because, like, they've worked up, they've improved a lot of things, and good for them.
Except
Good for
for
Pokemon. Good
performance,
for
apparently.
Nintendo. Huh?
Except for performance, apparently. The main issue I'm seeing around is
I
that,
saw that. Yeah,
the performance is pretty rough. And I'm just like, look, I'm going to be honest here, and this is probably going to piss a lot of people off. If performance is the main issue we are having, then I think we got a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I can see that pissing off people. For sure.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I want better performance, and I think they should have done better. I'm hoping that the day one patch that's released allows the performance, to be upgraded, right?
Yeah. But
I mean,
again, these are
apparently
easy.
they-
These are like these are fixes that are real easy. It's not like a game-breaking bug or game-breaking glitch or something like that, or like
Well, the way I look at it
the
is
story is absolutely shit, and the
Yeah,
like
well,
everything is
apparently-
like customizable, all that stuff.
apparently, from what I read, Xenoblade 3 went through the issues as well, and they needed a patch.
Honestly, that's not bad though, because again, it just needs a patch for optimization.
Well, it's look. Let me put it to you this way: I am not going to sit here and say like the performance is acceptable. It isn't. It needs to be better.
No, of course not. Yeah, but
But
honestly, performances, yeah, again, as you said, probably one of the better things we're to have on a launch day. Say, you get into the game and you're instantly like, this is terrible. I don't want to play this story. I don't want to play this game. Like the mechanics, the story or gameplay mechanics out there, or story additives, or different routes and stuff is just not playable, not fun, not whatever, because that means like that's the game, like that's the core of the game itself, right? That's not an easy, that's okay, not an easy fix, but it's not fixable like right away.
Yeah, especially if it's like core gameplay mechanics.
Core gameplay mechanics, core game story itself, the direction, everything, the design, that is not an easy fix. Whereas, as you said before, if it's performance, which is still bad, yes, of course, I want to play a game that can play, it's patchable.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know people are going to probably sit there and say, well, fuck you. You should want things to be released. Stop with this live service. It's all like, oh, you don't care. And I'm just like, no, I do care, but my priorities are different than yours.
Like, yeah, I want a game that works for sure.
By all intents and purposes, it works.
It's just that it's kind of rough. That's all.
A little rough, but again, this comes with like the whole moral question of like, why don't you have the same morals I do? Well, because I'm not you.
Yeah, I don't.
So like, why don't you want the same things I do? It's because I'm not you. Like, straight up, do not get me wrong. I would love for Pokemon to be running at like 60 frames per second with like 100, with like, can go up to 120 FPS, but that's not something I give a flying fuck about.
I want Pokemon to be like, the graphics have to be crazy ultra good.
Like, you know what one of my favorite games of all time is? Fire Emblem Three Houses. That game runs like
I want ultra 4K, boys.
like
4K
Fire Emblem
run on
3,
120 FPS on the
like
Switch.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is not a technical marvel by any means. Its models are shit.
Yeah.
Like incredibly shit. And one thing I like about Engage is they seem to have gotten the models better. This isn't me saying, wait, what?
What?
Okay, just time out for a second. Netflix is just like, the final episodes of JoJo Stone Ocean will be released on Netflix. I'm like, bitch, when did you release the other ones?
Didn't.
I know, it's just talk about Netflix killing a show.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Pokemon is obviously, it's at that point where it's making history, but it's also disappointing people, but it's like whatever. It's
Sure,
not
like,
it's not game breaking, it's not unplayable, it's just rough.
we also have to look at it from Game Freak's standpoint. Now, this is not me saying you have to agree with it, but you know what comes first and foremost from Game Freak? Japan.
And yeah.
And also Japan, you know what they like? All the merchandise that comes with it.
Yes.
Now again, is that a bad thing? I think it is. But I also, it's one of the things, like, I was talking about, like, with our conversation about Iris last night, right? And how her music is released. I understand cover standpoint. Do I agree with it? Not really.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to, I think a lot of people need to learn to be able to look the
Hmm?
bigger picture
Oh
and
yeah.
try to
Okay, yeah.
understand where people are coming from. Now, that also doesn't mean you need to agree with it.
No,
But
definitely don't.
I definitely have become a lot more calmer now that I'm looking at it like that.
Well, I mean, like, okay. I'm also gonna call out myself in this case too. I always have big expectations. I learned that,
Hi,
it
Byron,
sucks.
Mr. Expectations.
Yeah, it sucks, but like, it's never gonna live up to it. You can get all this information all you want, but it's never gonna live up to it all the time. Rarely any games that are like that. Fortunately, sometimes there's like trailers and stuff like that. They'll just hype you up, just get your gas going, gas you up basically. We just gotta know that's not the case. That's not the final product. That is just getting gassed up and
Mm-hmm.
putting your expectations and stuff. And you know what? Whatever. We have
But
to realize that,
also,
the finished
but
product is not always what we expect.
this is also coming from a guy who, liked Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. No,
Like, I
I
consider
had
Sword
fun.
and Shield probably, oh, let's see, I go 5. Honestly, I think it's just before 5 for me now that I think about it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed Ultra Sun and Moon. Kind of weird.
Like, if I had to
Um,
go rank, if I had to say my rankings right now, it's probably 5, 8,
wait,
3,
five is the
7.
first. Oh, okay, yeah, five is the first. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 5, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6, 2, 1.
Five. 1, 6.
Kalos.
Jack House. Okay, no. 5.
Or was it Kalos? It's X and Y, pretty much.
Yeah, 5, 7, 8. I think, and then 4, 3. I really had fun in Platinum, even though it was a slow ass game. Still had fun in Emerald. Still, honestly, really, really good.
But,
I
like,
can't really rank the rest, honestly. They're just
oh, I think 2 and 1 are just unplayable to me right now.
Callus is just, yeah. 6 is somewhere. It's not bottom,
6
but it's
is a
there. It helped produce like 7 and 8 and
6
all
is
that, but
a violent disappointment
it's like a
that they
prototype that was just
that they just abandon as soon as possible.
it's fine. It's whatever. It was a game. Came out, was passable to an extent, but it was just kind of, it's like almost like a prototype in a sense, which is
Yeah.
basically what it was. 7, 8 to predecessors. But yeah, no. Pokemon coming out. Excited for it. Re-downloaded.
Like, I'm generally
Purchased.
looking at like these will probably be good games. I don't
Scarlet
think
and
there'll be
Violet.
anything world beating,
We'll see.
but it's just again, my mindset is I know Pokemon's directed to kids. I know Pokemon is also meant to sell merchandise. Do I agree with those? No. But I also look at what I want from Pokemon. It's just an enjoyable romp that I can play with friends. Some fun, right?
Ye-
Not every game needs to be like this $50 million type thing, and everybody's just like, oh, well, Pokemon makes so much money, and why don't they do this? I'm like, okay. Like, would I like to see it? Sure, but I enjoy Pokemon, so what? Am I a piece of shit?
Nope.
Like, it's one thing that always annoys me, and I'm gonna go on a tangent that is just it's similar, but it's more of like gaming as a whole.
You're gonna go on a tangent now? Okay, I was. Keep going, keep going.
You're the problem. You know how people always go when they see somebody enjoying something and they're like, it's your fault they aren't doing the changes I want.
Okay. Sure.
Like, it's an argument we see all the time. You're the reason why it's this, that, when it's just like, what? Because I enjoy the things that I'm playing?
I don't know, man.
Like, that's just such a frustrating argument, right? You're the reason why they aren't improving in the way I want them to improve. Well,
look, if you really see it that way, just don't fucking play. Don't play the game until they actually get you some. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm getting a call.
take your time. Ah, sorry, taking a drink. But it was one thing I was saying is that people will always look at it and they'll go, why are you getting this? Why aren't you having the same opinions I do? You're the problem, right? It's your fault that it isn't changed just because you like it. And I'm just like, because I enjoyed the game? Question mark? Like, do not get me wrong, I'd like to see improvements as everyone does, right? But I'm sorry that I like the game. Right?
I don't know. It's you can't. No. Can't. Or no, sorry. Not everybody's gonna be happy with everything, type of thing, and that sucks. And I'm sorry. Whatever. Well, I'm not sorry. It's just that sucks. But you can't expect everything to conform around you. You can't expect everything, and that's just a very selfish way of thinking. Take a step back, man. Sorry that you. Okay.
Like, I'm gonna play Pokemon. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna probably agree with the performance issues, right? But just because a game has performance issues doesn't mean it's like, blah.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm tired of people going like, you're the reason, right?
Yeah, stop playing the blame game, really, basically. It's how the company is set it up to be. I don't like it, just don't play it, man. Not really worth, like, getting your knickers in a twist about. Posting up a storm on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a game. Find something that makes you happy. Why? It's you're basically going back to the like basic. I don't know if it's basic, but I think it's kind of just. I think it's universal thought process that why tread on like stew in the negative when you be happy, when you yourself can go do something that will make you happy. Have to stew in the negativeness of it. The only person that's being negative about it is you, and you're the one that's dragging yourself into it, basically. Nobody is forcing you to play these games. Nobody's forcing you to feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Your choice is made.
And then they reply, well, I want things to improve. And I'm just like, I do too, but I also like what I have. Right?
Yeah.
Like, for fuck's sakes, I play Metal Gear Rising. Metal Gear Rising is awesome meme-tastic game, but the game itself is average to decent. Like, if you're asking me to rate the gameplay, it's a 6, maybe 7. Right?
Yeah.
And like Persona 5 Strikers is decent. It's not great.
Look, I played some really shitty DS games, and I was just like, whatever. I'm playing shitty DS games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Asterisk and Obelisk in the fucking Olympic Games? Fucking destroyed my touchscreen, man. Just trying to play that game.
But like everybody's just like, oh, they have millions upon millions of dollars. They need to put in more. And it's just like,
look, until you actually manage one of those types of companies, you can't say shit.
And it's also like
you can give your opinions, but you can't expect them to do it.
And I also just sit there and say to myself, they probably do put in millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, they probably do, and they probably do a lot of other things. I don't know. I feel like yeah, you can give your opinions, but you gotta also think about it like you can't really know for sure until you're in that position.
Like, again, let me put it to you this way. Do I think the Pokemon games need better performance? Yes. Yes, I do. I think that's without a shadow of a doubt a realistic expectation.
Yeah.
But I also am not going to just sit here and act like performance is the only thing that matters. Everybody has their thing, right? Everybody has the thing that they care about. Don't you dare act like I need to care about what you care about. And that's as simple as that. I'm sick and tired of seeing people around the fucking gaming or anime or internet community acting like I need to be like you. I need to think about like what you want, right? No, that. I'm my own person, and stop telling me to be like you just because you don't like something in a video game. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Moving on from that, I guess. There were other games that I also wanted to top up on, or not top up, to mention, since it's the end of the 2022, getting close to our final.
Almost. Jesus Christ, it's past the middle of November.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's almost time to talk about, like, you know, the year-end stuff and all that. Getting sort of the last leg of all the games are, you know, has come out in the last quarter from September to December type of area. And I gotta say, Marcel, 2022 has been fantastic so far.
Okay.
I mean, look, maybe you weren't impacted that huge in the fact that, like, or maybe you were impacted, but like not, I don't know, as big because you were able to play it. But like Persona 5 Royale came out on the Switch and PC in October. Like, what the fuck? I'm having a good time on that. Really good time. What else? Like, there's, okay, like, Gotham Knights isn't like the best game, but it honestly has been, you know, it's like a Destiny type of feel. Feels like it should have been, honestly, like one of the multiplayer online type of games type of thing, optimized for that. But it's still something that, like, waste my time and I can enjoy having fun.
Of course, there's me with Warhammer that everybody's just like, oh, it's dead and it's dead because they're not releasing a DLC in December, but most likely in like the March to April range. I'm like, okay.
Didn't they release something not that long ago for like
Immortal Empires came out in
September?
August, end of August.
Okay. Never mind.
Right? And it was good. I generally enjoy. I think Immortal Empire. Here's the thing about Immortal Empires. I am absolutely flabbergasted that it hasn't been that buggy.
Okay.
Like, think about this. There are 278 total factions in Immortal Empires. Right?
But the actual gameplay itself hasn't been.
The map isn't buggy. Like, there's no... if you want to talk about, like, game-breaking bugs I've ran into, it's none. Like, I've had a little issues lately with loading the game, but I think that just might be more of a different thing than Immortal Empires. But the fact that Immortal Empires released in a stable and competent thing is one of the most fucking incredible things I have ever seen in the gaming industry. Because again, I need to preface how fucking big Immortal Empires is.
Oh, it's very big. Yeah, I see. Happens.
Like, to the entire map of Warhammer 1 and 2 that had little updates. Lostria doesn't suck anymore, thank God. And then it's adding the entire map of Warhammer 3. So, like, you got 3 maps in the same game, 278 factions. And the fact that it runs pretty smooth, and I don't have the best PC to run it. Like, I run with mid graphics, and I have a little bit of stutter at the start on the map, but for the most part, it runs pretty good. So, like, the fact that Immortal Empires is running like that is probably one of the best accomplishments we'll see.
I wonder if we'll get some recognition.
Maybe, but I also think the first DLC was also pretty good. I thought the Champions of Chaos DLC introduced a lot of good new lords, a couple of new units. It brought in the Warriors of Chaos rework, which has been fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also appreciated that they've been taking a serious look at balancing. And while, yes, I am disappointed that we won't see a DLC until next year, which is probably going to be Chaos Dwarfs, people really need to chill. Like, they're acting like it's the end of the world when it has a healthy player base, the DLC sold well, and let's not act like there were long waits between DLCs before. Yeah. The longest wait we've had for a DLC was 6 months. This is probably going to be 8. Ooh, big deal. And I think this goes back to something you said about how people expected more just because, oh, there's 2 teams working on Warhammer 3.
You know, just putting expectations and stuff.
Yeah. It's that type of bullshit. But,
yeah. I was going to talk about other stuff too. I mean, now that you're talking about Warhammer, I wanted to talk about the fact that, hey, there's also Warhammer 40k Dark Tide that came out.
Yeah, that came out today. We like, ooh.
No, this is the pre-release beta gameplay if you pre-purchased it, but it's coming out the 30th, and so far it's been looking really, really good as well. I'm glad we're actually getting some more.
Fat Shark does good jobs.
Glad we're getting some more on 40k, like actual games.
I'd love to see Total War 40k, man.
Yeah, this is actually really, really cool. The customization.
I'd really like to see Total War 40k. I think that would be the perfect place to go. Since Age of Sigmar is still somewhat tied to fantasy, since it's the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see, after Warhammer 3's life cycle's over in like 4 or 5 years, for them to go to
40K.
Age of Sigmar. No, not Age of Sigmar, 40k, yeah. I think that'd be very cool. Of course, there's Elden Ring. Everybody loves Elden Ring.
Elden Ring came out September, right? Or August?
No, it came out earlier this year. I think it was February.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, it was right. February 25th.
I was more talking, well, I guess we could talk a little bit of 2022 overall, but we're talking about the last quarter since we did it to last year.
I mean, there's not much.
I mean, there's stuff that I'm looking forward to as well later on.
Oh, God.
I believe there was... I can remember, there's still Marvel's Midnight Suns coming out on December 2nd. There's still Dragon Quest Treasures coming out December 9th. Whatever reason, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is going to be coming out December 14th. This is kind of nuts. Kind of cool. Number 7, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard's coming out for the Switch. Or I think that's like, what, Cloud? So,
Yeah, it's the cloud base.
we played Gundam Evolution. It was honestly not that bad.
I mean, I haven't played it in a month.
All right. The new Call of Duty Warzone came out just a couple days or yesterday, and then Call of Duty itself has already came out earlier this month, I believe.
Yeah, Modern Warfare dropped, and while the story was decent, I mean, the thing about Modern Warfare is the one. Oh, fucking Christ! Sorry, trying to enter my password into something, and it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I heard the new Modern Warfare 2, like, oh, sorry, that was October, I think. Yeah, sorry, October. I heard Modern Warfare 2 is, the story was really decent. Like, the whole retcon, or not retcon, the redo is looking and, like, feeling really good so far. And so far in the, like, gameplay that I've seen, it looks really, really
Mm.
Bayonetta 3 came out, right, too?
Nobody gives a shit about Bayonetta, except for Bay. What I was about to say is, let me pull it up, because apparently Modern Warfare's really tried to take into it. So there's already campaign multiplayer, Warzone 2.0, there's a couple DMZ modes, there's Spec Ops, there's Prisoner Rescue, and they're bringing in apparently co-op raid modes.
Oh. Huh.
So, like, it's very interesting to see how Modern Warfare is trying to push out, especially considering, holy shit, Battlefield and Halo are just a fucking mess.
Right now, yeah.
Like, Halo is just a disaster.
Getting.
Right?
Yeah. But no, yeah, if COD can actually pull up with this, they'd be able to fucking do it.
No, like, it's interesting to see just how, like, Call of Duty has somehow at least found its footing. Like, it's not like Cold War and Vanguard were okay. Like, Vanguard, the Cold War story was incredible.
Cold War one,
The multiple choices, the bringing in of the old characters and new rules, like, it was good. Vanguard,
Vanguard node. Yeah, it was.
I mean, I enjoyed Ina playing it for one game. I miss Ina.
There was other stuff that came out this.
Hopefully Ina's doing well. I'm sure she is. Oh, apparently Kiara got her tickets to Japan, so she'll be going there for about 3 weeks.
Nice.
Most likely December.
There's
We're forgetting about one game, Chewy.
No, we're not. I'm still thinking of the games right now. The full release of Grounded came out September that I'm really interested in still. Want to play it, but
What about God of War?
I don't have a PS5, so I don't really care.
I don't have a PS5 either, but
Xbox.
Fuck me, man. That game looks so good.
I think looks decent, but at the same time, I also feel like I've looked at some of the reviews and it doesn't sound like some things I would like, honestly, but I don't know. At the same time, it's like I'm just listening to people talk about it, so I haven't actually tried.
Like, as coming as somebody who really, really liked the original, the 2018 version, it tickles all my fancies.
I do like that Ratatasker was
voiced by
someone. Yeah.
Fucking Christ! Actually, speaking of that, lots of people apparently do not like him.
Yeah, because he's bad at Oscar. Annoying.
Like, no, I'm talking about Sun Quan.
Oh, they don't like him?
Yeah, I've seen more hate against that guy for voicing Ratatasker than I have.
Oh, well.
And it's just like, oh, it's the typical you don't like his videos. Boo-hoo.
Oh, okay.
But there was actually a new trailer for Fire Emblem Engage.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It revealed a story trailer.
Oh,
and
right.
essentially it showcased a little more characters, right? We got to see a little more movement. The main character talks.
That's cool.
But we got to see some of the villains.
Oh, that's
And
right.
there's
Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed also was this October. That was something I wanted to get into too. That's the first time like it's a 4. That's an interesting one. Go ahead.
And there's
Sorry.
some that look good, but the one thing they introduced, which I already knew was coming, the heroes can also be taken by the enemies.
Like,
So like the trailer, yeah.
Okay.
So the trailer ends with Marth being corrupt. Yeah, so essentially the trailer ends with one of the main villains essentially saying, "We could use the rings as well, bitch."
Oh.
And it showcases, I believe, Lynn, Silica, and Marth on the dark side.
Oh.
So I'm very interested to see how that plays into story-wise. Oda, you there?
Sorry, Byron just.
Well, tell Byron to fuck off. What, does he want to play Smite?
No, he's just messaging.
Well, I mean, we're almost done here, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been going for just under an hour. Why not we just call it here?
Okay, I was just gonna end it off with Ghostbusters. Really, I think it's kind of cool that Ghostbusters has gone to that. That whole they kind of go with 1v4 type of thing or 1v group.
Yeah.
Monster. Yeah, I actually thought that was pretty smart on their part to actually do it that way.
I forget what it's called. I forget what type of game that's called, but I know what you're talking about.
It's like a raid boss or something.
Oh no, it's the typical arcade. Remember that game on the ferry that we played all the time? It was a mythical game. You picked 4 characters. Oh, what the fuck is it? We played it on the ferry all the time.
Talking about gauntlets or something?
Maybe. I think that might be the name. I don't know. Let me Google it. It might have been Gauntlets. Yeah, I think it was.
Wait, what? What? I'm so confused now.
Well, I mean, it's just that type of style. Remember? There used to be an arcade on the ferry.
Oh yeah, there still is, but I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about Ghostbusters.
Well, it's the same gameplay style. 4 people go in, beat the shit out of things.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's 4v one ghost, one monster.
Oh, you're
It's like
talking
a team
about
versus one. Yeah.
Dead by Daylight shit.
No, that's an escape type. You don't actually go do anything against them. It's like a legit 1v4.
Oh,
instead of objective base, it's like
what the fuck's that game that flopped? What's that Monster Hunter game?
Predator or whatever it's called.
It was the one by the big turtle.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's Predator versus like that like Evolved. I think it's Evolved.
Yeah, evolve. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
where
it's
like you
evolve.
play as 4 different like hunters, evolve, yeah.
Mhm.
And then you have like the hyper evolving monster that has like all these different levels until it gets like to the max level. And you
Mhm.
as the hunters had to like, stop it. Yeah, it's very similar to that. Whereas the objective of the ghost or something that's trying to so there's a whole bunch of different maps. The ghost's main objective is basically to fully haunt the building itself. Do that by scaring people, by haunting objects, by doing all this stuff, and you have various abilities as a ghost to do that. Or Ghostbusters have to main objective is to capture the ghosts multiple times or close these gateways, which is what gives him these extra lives, and stop the haunting basically. Like avoid the full haunting of the building. And they have their own gear and stuff and upgrades. It's like, yeah, it is pretty much evolved like I don't know what that type of Turtle Rock Studios. That's right. I just don't remember what type of game that. But yeah, I think that was an interesting turn for it, and I think that's probably one of the smarter bits to make it more replayable. I don't know. I've never seen like a. I've never seen like a Ghostbusters game that would be like, I'm gonna go back and play that game. Like right now after finishing it.
Who
So
knows?
it looks fun, and I wish I could like get into it. It's on Epic, not on Steam though. So at least that what I've seen. So yeah, if I could find people that are, and if I consider it, yeah, it looks fun. Looks fun with friends. You don't also have to play versus another player, be the ghost or whatever. Play against an AI bot too, which is still fairly hard because they still sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Last quarter has been pretty cool so far. Can't wait for Midnight Suns. Take a look at it. Also take a look at the Drake Quest Treasures. There's apparently a lot of games that are TBA'd as well, but like next year. But yeah. This has been a Zatsu. I think this is episode 6, 7. It's
Who
7.
knows?
Yeah.
Just end the.
Just end us, I guess. Take the gun and shoot us in the head in Italy here. All right, where's the? I'm gonna turn on the. Find a gun for you. Uh. Uh. What? Here, Marcel. I'll end it for us right here by doing this. If I could find it.
Where are we going to be next time we do a Zatsu?
I don't know, but I'm gonna end it with this. Okay.
Okay. Whatever you're ending with it, I hope it's entertaining because I can't see it.